professional monitoring plan and get your first month free. That's simplysafetom.com to claim 50% off a new system with the professional monitoring plan. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning, life, and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone, come back. It's my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life, come back.
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The KFH Studios, powered by Devon James Injury Lawyers. Call 888-8888.
That's 888-8888.
From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, don't worry about me, I called ART.
Traffic
update here on the Monday morning commute. We do have a person stuck in an elevator near Central and Woodlawn. So utility crews are trying to get that person out. We also have fire crews on the scene of a vehicle on fire in the 3800 block of East Cessna. That's to the east of Pawnee and Hillside. A vehicle fire. Traffic update from 98.7 and 1330 KNSS in the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center. I'm Ted Woodward.
weather.
Priced up to our Monday, but another severe risk developing later this afternoon and evening. Expecting more storms to fire up. All forms of severe weather going to be a possibility. Damaging wind gusts, large hail, as well as a few tornadoes, all on the table as possibilities. So stay weather aware. With your Storm Track 3 forecast, I'm meteorologist Rana Williams.
Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH Wichita, KNSS HD2 Clearwater, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Hey Wichita, it's Jacob Albrock. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily coming up next exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. Thought I would take a moment to reset an annual take that I had that for some reason aggravates a lot of people, but it seems so straightforward and obvious to me. And that's that the Stanley Cup is the hardest trophy in all sports to win. It just is. The NHL postseason is a 2-month all-out brawl with teams playing each other every other day for those 8 weeks. And every single game, every period, every single shift is intensified 20x over the regular season. And you have to win 4 best-of-7 series and 16 of these individual all-out wars on the ice in order to win the cup. I don't think I've ever seen a group of athletes sell out and endure the way NHLers have to win that cup. But I see it every single year. Why do you think every single player who's ever won the cup has their name etched onto the cup? That's how revered it is to go through that fire and come out the other end. Believe me, every trophy in pro sports is a mother to win, but none more so than the Stanley Cup. I'm Jim Rome.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Warning, the national debt is spiraling out of control. Trade wars are causing record volatility, and inflation could make a devastating comeback. Will you sit on the sidelines and wait, or will you take action today to help protect your hard-earned retirement savings? And what if you could do it tax and penalty-free? Find out more by requesting your free 2025 gold and silver kit from the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco. Plus, you could get an unlimited instant match on bonus silver if you qualify. Call 855-969-GOLD to learn more. That's 855-969-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily with Jacob Albrock and Tommy Gester.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Glad to be here with you this morning. Jacob Albrock, Tommy Castor. It is a Monday. We're getting you ready for the week. And we got to start off by saying that we're thinking about and praying for the folks in Grinnell and Plevna here this morning, as both of those towns were hit hard by tornadoes yesterday in a pretty dangerous and destructive outbreak. Missed the Wichita area, but it did not miss everybody. And it got those two towns. So we're thinking about them, all our folks up there that might know people up there or are headed up there to help. We're thinking about all you guys. So we start the week here in Sports Daily, though, with a busy slate. We've got all kinds of stuff. The Royals, tough weekend for the Royals. They salvage a disastrous weekend, but a tough weekend nonetheless. We'll get into their current situation and how things are going. We'll look at the NHL and the NBA playoffs a little bit. Scotty Scheffler gets another major win. We'll get Tommy's take on that, our golf guy. And exactly what that means. All kinds of other storylines bouncing around here. Programming note, we should have Paul Mills on tomorrow morning. He is ready. He's going to do a big media briefing later in the day to talk about this class. I think everything's official now, so they're trying to get that out there and let everybody know about these new players, and we'll have him on even before that tomorrow morning, bright and early. So set your timer to that, Shocker fans, and we'll hear from Coach Mills himself on how all this is coming together. But here we are. Happy Monday, Tommy. How are you?
Yeah, it was good. Good weekend. Looking forward to getting into everything today. I feel like it was a pretty impactful weekend. You mentioned the Royals, but of course the NBA playoffs, which are the Oklahoma City Thunder move on in 7 games. They absolutely dismantle the Nuggets. And obviously a lot going on in NHL playoffs. There's a lot to get to today on the show.
There is, and we will. And it's a little groggy here this morning, so we're glad we have Prairie Fire coffee. I'm sure a lot of us were watching the storms last night, just making sure that whatever happened, but the one that got Plevna was up very, very late, after 1 a.m., I think. So here we go again today. Make sure you've got your Storm Team 12 app and everything handy for you to get alerts in case you are in bed or whatever it is. And keep it tuned to all the Odyssey family of stations now with a partnership coming up here pretty soon with Storm Team 12. We're glad to have those resources out there here in about a week and a half, Tommy, for that. So that'll be good. That'll be nice too. Our guy Rodney Price out there chasing the storms. He arrived there on Plevna, one of the first on scene there. Late tonight, you hear him all the time here on Odyssey, KNSS, and some other stations as well.
Yeah, KNSS, obviously, from a radio perspective, will provide any kind of coverage for the Wichita Metro. So if we've got bad weather coming in, the entire crew over there on KNSS and, all the folks that are involved with that will keep everybody apprised of whatever's happening.
All right, let's set the table for the Royals here, Tommy, because it was a bad weekend. We'll dig into the baseball itself, but just right off the top, if you missed it, it was a very busy weekend. We get it. Congrats to all our graduates out there. The Royals sent both Seth Lugo and Cole Reagans to the IL. Now, Noah Cameron alleviated the first part of that very well. I joked with Tommy. I said, we didn't realize he was Tom Glavine, apparently, because he's in 2 starts now. He's been very, very good. But Noah Cameron will help, so that's good. And they'll just have to adjust here. Look, we've said this a billion times, and we'll get into it in the next segment. This is why These are the reasons. These are the things that make the struggles of the offense more concerning. Yes, the starting pitching has been otherworldly, but to ask it to do what it's done for the entirety of a season is I hope that it happens, but that's not a good way to plan for things, certainly. So we have the Royals, and they're going to throw Avila, a guy I have not heard of, Luinder Avila, is going to get the start in the Giants finale. Noah Cameron, we've now seen a couple times, but here we go, Tommy. Like, these are the things that you need the offense to be able to pick up the pitching. Your two co-aces are concurrently on the IL. Like, you're going to have to pick up the slack there. They go into a series with the Cardinals at home, and they score 5 runs over 3 games. And here and we're just, it's like rinse, wash, repeat, rinse, wash, repeat. We saw Jack Caglione over the weekend get called up to AAA. That's his next step. Who knows if he'll be up in time to help, and who knows what position he'll be able to help at. But the Royals they're kind of up against it right now, as they've lost 6 out of their last 9, I believe it is.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Noah Cameron, gives you at least, some firepower in relief of, one of those guys in the rotation for sure. But I think there are, more questions than answers right now about what the Royals, what their game plan is going to end up being, with the rotation, and how long are we looking at a potential absence from really primarily Cole Reagans. I think Seth Lugo, I'm not sure that that's a long injury, a long stint on the IL. I know that he's got some finger inflammation and all of that. You would think, or you would at least hope that Lugo will be back sooner rather than later. But with Reagans, that's a groin, and that's something that can, take a while to get back from, can be an injury that could be nagging for a period of time. And so I wonder if you've got, Lugo coming back relatively quickly, if they can then just fill that other hole with Noah Cameron moving forward until Reagans is ready to come back.
Yeah. Look, I think the reality is, like, I think they'll be okay pitching, but that's not their issue anyway, right? They're in 4th place right now. They have scored more runs than one team in the American League, and it's the White Sox, and it's barely. This offense is not going to be good enough in this division. It's not going to be good enough. They've beaten up on a lot of really bad teams, and they have not against average to good teams. It won't be good enough. So what can they do? Like, and the pitching's going to amplify it. I hope that these guys can fill in, and probably, honestly, I think that they can. Like, I think these guys going to the IL, if they're both minimum stays, isn't going to be that big a deal. I think that, especially with Noah Cameron doing what he's doing, I think they'll be fine. I don't, but again, like, I think they'll be fine versus I think they'll hold every opponent to 2 runs a game are 2 different things. That's not sustainable. So, like, it's a really good thing. They have a pitching staff that is capable of taking them to a World Series. I don't have any doubts about that. They absolutely, right now, on May 19th, almost 50 games into the season, do not have an offense that's capable of taking them to the World Series. I mean, that's the reality that we live in right now with the Royals. And it's only May 19th. And we keep saying it's too early to do something. But when you're in 4th place in a division that looks really good, is it ever too early to do something? Because I don't think it is. And I've been saying that for a week, but man, like, how many series are we going to watch them score 5 runs?
You've been saying that for like a month. And then, look, I get it. I'm not saying that you're wrong by any means about what the Royals should be doing or shouldn't be doing. I think the major thing about it, in my opinion, is that what you can always go and make a move. Like, JJ Piccolo can start working the phones today and can probably find some kind of trade partner for something. But the asking price is going to be a whole lot higher on May 19th than it will be on July 19th for whoever it is.
That's right.
That you're going to go and talk to. And so you've got to balance that. You've got to balance the pressing current needs right now with what you're potentially going to be giving up to make something like that happen.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the games themselves this weekend. We'll get into it. We'll go Royals heavy here off the top today on Sports Daily. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooded. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
They're not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
What is GMFB Overtime?
It's Peter, Jamie, Kyle, and Akbar breaking down the NFL 5 days a week.
It's okay to be excited.
It's this, that, and a whole lot of fantasy. It's football for everyone.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. on KSCW.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Sports Daily. We are glad to be here with you on this Monday. It's Jacob Albrock. It's Tommy Castor. We're talking Royals. Tough weekend. 5 runs in the 3 games against the Cardinals. Cardinals had been playing well. You salvaged the series, though, yesterday. Drew Waters with a big hit. Let me start here, Tom. The Royals, and you're right, I have been saying this for a month. It would be okay if I did, I just can't, I think this division race is going to be really, really, really difficult all the way through, starting a while ago. And I don't think their schedule is going to be, right now, they've been taking advantage of the parts of the schedule that they need to be taking advantage of. But as it's turned over here, the last 3 series, they've lost all 3 series, and it gets harder. It gets more difficult over the next month or so. And I haven't even looked at July yet, but June is a monster. And so that's where the concern is for me, that this thing, until they have time to get whatever it is that they're going to do together, that in this division, they're going to fall too far behind. We're looking right now, and they're 5.5 games back, and they're in 4th place in the AL Central right now. So that to me is what is been sticking in my, and I was, it was before Minnesota even got hot. It's man, this division's going to be really good. They're going to have a hard time. So just to take us back, and look, it's not the front office's fault. Let me say that as well. We're brainstorming constantly here on the show of things they can do. It's not their fault. It's the players' fault. The players have to hit. They have a good enough on paper lineup. You, before the season, said they needed a corner outfield bat. That was correct, but it's been much more than that, right? The offense is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So first and foremost, it's on the players. Just so I just don't want anybody to think I'm mad at JJ Piccolo. I'm not at all. I think there's some urgency needed there. So they ran out the typical lineup in 2 of the games, and then yesterday they changed it up again. And they hit Salvi 3rd. Vinny hit, 6th? Yeah, 6th. They moved Canna up. They tried to break him up. Salvi and Vinny actually had some hits yesterday, right? They were at least doing a little something at the plate, but it still wasn't enough. So, I don't know. I feel like they're slumping. I feel like they just need to snap out of it. I do think at some point the offense wakes up a little bit. But, man, I don't know how much more, because we're 50 games into this season, and they are basically the worst offense in the American League, and it's not particularly close right now. They've got to, I don't think it's too crazy to be overly aggressive now. I mean, if you're the Royals and you think you should be a postseason team, because I don't know that you can run this pitching back either, right? They were able to run this rotation back and keep a lot of these guys. I don't know if that's going to happen again. So I'm a little, I think there is some urgency with this team this year for sure.
I think there is too, because on paper, you've got a fairly complete team. I mean, especially from a pitching perspective, and when healthy, they're one of the best pitching staffs in all of Major League Baseball. There are clear deficiencies in the lineup, and there have been since day one. I mean, as soon as we kind of knew what this team was going to look like offensively, I remember saying, I don't think that's enough. I think that they need more. And really, the Royals have tried to make work what they have currently on their roster. And it hasn't panned out, especially from an outfield position, especially when you've got guys that are slumping that typically don't slump and that you have to rely on to be run producers, and they're not really able to do that. It's pretty sad. At one point in the game yesterday, I believe it was in the 4th inning, Burleson for the Cardinals hit a solo shot, and it was a 1-0 game. And I'm like, well, there goes the ball game. Right. It was a 1-0 game in the 4th inning. And ultimately the Royals were able to make it work. And Drew Waters had a triple, and Michael Garcia drove him in. And that, was all she wrote. But it's pretty terrifying when an opponent gets out to even a 1-0 lead. And you're like, man, I'm not sure how the Royals are going to be able to generate runs. And they're down 1-0, and the game isn't even halfway over yet. There's a name that hasn't been brought up, at least on this program, and I'm not sure really if it's been talked about much at all. If you need a scapegoat, and I have no idea if this is fair, unfair, whatever, but if you need a scapegoat for all of this and something to maybe wake the team up, Alex Zumwalt is the hitting coach on this team. And we've seen it happen multiple times.
Rangers have already done it.
And this year with the Rangers, they fired their hitting coach early on in the season when they were not producing. Now, I don't know. You follow the Rangers more closely than I do. I don't know if they've been able to turn it around offensively.
Not particularly. They've been picking it up. They've had a bunch of injuries, but no, they've also been one of the more disappointing offenses in the league for sure.
And sometimes that sort of thing happens. Sometimes you might need a fall guy. You might need somebody to fall on the sword to wake up the players. And you said it fully falls on the players. And you know what it does? They're the ones that are out there executing or not executing. But you do have a guy whose sole purpose on this team is to be the hitting coach and to develop these hitters and to make sure that they're putting themselves in great situations. I'm not sure if Alex Zumwalt has been able to do that or not this season. Probably not. And so if you need a fall guy, if you need something to try to, shake things up or wake the team up, that might be an avenue to take a look at.
I think you could think about it. That's a hard one. I mean, it would be on the table for me. Those are things you got to have a little closer connection than you are. We could ask Jalen Thompson that, who's around him every day, to kind of see what that might shake up. So, and that's the kind of stuff you have to look at, right? And I don't want anybody to lose their job or anything like that, but yeah, the team has to wake up offensively. Like, they just have to, or it's not going to work. The good news for them is that Cleveland is also struggling right now, so that's helpful. But I honestly, we keep looking at the AL Central, and I think that more than anything just tells you there will be fewer chances for, to play bad teams or whatever. But really, kind of everybody in the American League's pretty good, right? Like, if you look right now, the Yankees will be a contender. The Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Rays will all probably stay contenders and competitive and relevant in at least the wild card chase. Obviously, Detroit is, who I believe, they're still holding on to their grasp as the best team in baseball this year, if you're not paying attention. Minnesota and Cleveland certainly will be in it. Kansas City will obviously be in it, but so will Seattle, Houston, Texas, and maybe even the A's. They're really, right now, Baltimore looks like they're not going to be able to get it turned around. I don't know what's going on there. That's the strangest story in baseball to me. But Baltimore, Chicago, and probably the Angels aren't for real. Everybody else is going to be competitive in a wild card for a while. So, and at least for a month. So if you're looking at trade candidates right now, the trade candidates that are there are the trade candidates. I don't know how much they're going to change because everybody's going to kind of be in it. It'll be a good year to be a seller because everybody's kind of in it. Go to the National League, it's a little more, cut out. Pittsburgh's not going to contend. Colorado, obviously. Miami is not. Washington might not, but Washington's not going to be a seller. They're chock full of loaded with great young talent and everything else. I doubt they do much. So I just don't think there's going to be a lot of candidates to make a trade anyway. So if that's the path you're going, I don't think the market's going to change much over the next month.
But by that logic, I mean, you say that it's a good time to be a seller. I mean, that means that, and I don't disagree with you. I think you're right on that being a seller is more advantageous with the market this year than in other years. That just means that the asking price is going to be even higher. It just means that there's going to be probably even more competition
now than it will be in a month, I guess.
I think so. I think it will be because I think that the teams that are selling, take a look at a team like Colorado, for example. What do they have to lose by holding on to their guys for another month? Right? I think that they can ask for the world in return for whoever it is on their roster. I mean, and I'm not even just talking about the situation with the Royals and what the Royals might want to do. I'm just talking about anybody in general that might be looking at trading right now. The Rockies can ask for whatever they want and say, I mean, look, the price is the price. If you want this guy right now, great. This is what it's going to take. If not, we'll still be here. We're going to hang out and we'll just see how the market unfolds and develops. I mean, I think that it is going to be, and it currently is, a seller's market in Major League Baseball. But there are two teams. So if the Royals feel like they need to be uber aggressive right now, side note, JJ Piccolo has never struck me as that kind of guy that is going to be uber aggressive / panicked to go out and make trades in the middle of May. He doesn't strike me as that kind of guy. But let's just say for this exercise, he does and decides that he wants to do that. There are two teams, the Rockies and the Orioles, that I think you could probably call right now. And if you absolutely had to, get a deal done. I mean, take a look at the Orioles, for example, probably the most disappointing team in Major League Baseball, and they are chock full of outfielders. They just fired Brandon Hyde. They've got a handful of guys that if they're going to be sellers, that they could move. Like, we've talked about him before, but like Cedric Mullins could be a guy that you could pick up the phone and call and give you instant production right now. Do I think JJ Picollo will do that? No, I don't. But if he did, those would be the two teams that I would look at. Two teams that have already fired their managers that are clearly, out of it and not going to get back into it.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for Piccolo when he pulled the trigger on. Was Harvey the first one? No, it wasn't. It was
No, Harvey. I think Harvey was the first one, and that was like 2 weeks before the trade deadline or 3 weeks before the trade deadline last year. It wasn't like it was in May. I mean, we're talking like middle of July, like around the All-Star break.
Yeah, I have Ursig into July, and I think that's right. I think he was right at the beginning of July, and Ursig was at the end of July, and we really only have last year.
It was July 13th that the Royals traded for Hunter Harvey. So we're talking All-Star break.
I don't know that they can wait 2 months to do something.
I just don't think they're going. There might be other things that they do. Yeah. For instance, they move up Jack Caglione to AAA.
That's
I think that's a more likely scenario than JJ Piccolo going and making a trade in the month of May.
Well, and I think it's a better option too. I think sometimes you have to be careful with being willing to trade quality assets to fix a problem, especially when you're a team like the Royals. I'm not ignorant to the fact that the Royals have to be more careful than a lot of teams do. So, like Noah Cameron, if he has a bunch of good starts, are great. And I've said this before, there's a trade asset potentially, right? Well, you've got, starting pitchers who pushed themselves last year to innings limits and all these things. Now you need Noah Cameron. So you've got to be careful there too. You'd have to bring it, like if you're going to give up pieces that could help this franchise down the road, it has to be for, no doubt about it, controllable players. And I think that the problem is going to become that those types of pieces, are not really available because these teams that are bad don't really have them. And B, they're going to be really expensive if they do. Like they'll have bullpen arms everybody's interested in. The Royals shouldn't need that. They should need a bat. So they're not going to, in my opinion, go out there and find any bat on the market that is realistic for them to acquire that will be better than Jack Caglione. They're not. I don't think. More impactful, potentially, any of that. He may come up and you may have to deal with the fact that he's a rookie. And okay, right? Because I'd rather deal with watching him like learn the ropes and struggle a little bit than Renfroe, for instance, or an older guy where it's like, what are we like? What's going to come? Like, what are we waiting for now at this point? So, and if they refuse to put him in the outfield for whatever reason, to hell with it. Just bring him up and let him hit 3 days a week. I don't care what it is. Let Vinny go play left field, see if he can handle it. Let Salvi catch a little more. Like whatever it is, there. Like we've seen this now for the entire. We've seen it for 50 games. That this offense is not going to be good enough. And I don't think it magically is. And I don't think that the pieces out there are going to line up with what the Royals even want to do in the first place. So we saw Jack Caglione called up to AAA. And like that's the piece we got to watch. I don't know if anybody else in the minor leagues is hitting right now. Quite frankly, I have no idea. I haven't looked at like what Omaha's up to, but that's got to be the move, and they've got to do everything they can and I don't know how much longer. Like, give him 2 weeks in AAA, and if he hits like he's hitting in AA, like that's enough. Because a lot of times, prospects of his pedigree, they don't even go to AAA; they just jump right up and get in there. And I think that that's the only thing I can think of that's really potentially impactful right now for this team, other than the guys in the lineup doing what they're supposed to do, right? Like that's the real thing that needs to happen. But other than that, like Cags is going to be a better option than anything they can trade for.
I totally agree. I think that I would give really, really, really good odds that the Royals will not make a trade before, July 1st.
Well, let's do it this way. Will the Royals make a trade before they call up Jack Caglione?
No, I don't think they will. I think that that's the path. Because, and again, I'm not saying that I do think having Caglione in the lineup and on the big league roster is a better option, number one. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be a good idea to at least, look around and be a buyer with other teams and talk trades and that sort of thing. I just think it's unlikely, knowing JJ Picollo. I know that he was active at the trade deadline and slightly before the trade deadline last year, but he seems like a very thoughtful guy and not a shoot from the hip and try to make a trade on May 19th type guy. I just don't see that happening. And so, take a look at somebody, and I just mentioned his name before, a guy like Cedric Mullins, who is a name in Major League Baseball. He's had a good career, up to this point, has played pretty well for the Orioles. I think that, let's say that JJ Picollo goes crazy and decides to trade for him. I think that tells you a lot about what they feel like they've got this year, because Mullins is an unrestricted free agent after this year. There is no control for him whatsoever after this season. You're basically acquiring a rental. That has really not been the JJ Picollo MO, because I think he knows who the Royals are. I think he knows that, we've got to have homegrown talent, controllable talent, all of that. And that's another reason why a guy like Jack Caglione is a better option than going and trading for a big name player on another team right now.
He came up with Dayton Moore, though, and Dayton Moore wasn't afraid to do that, to push his chips in when they felt like they were really ready. So, I don't know. I just, for me, it's what player's going to be out there that is a sure thing. I don't know if it's going to be there. I think there are too many contenders. It's just going to be difficult. Again, the thing that's got to happen is that the team itself just has to get hot. I can't, it's impossible to imagine a world where that can't happen, because we saw it so often last year. It just hasn't happened through 50 games. I don't think this is ever going to be, outside of Caglione getting called up and immediately being impactful and not needing any time to acclimate, which is unlikely, but possible. I don't think this becomes anything more than a league average offense. But how much would you take a league average offense right now? It would be it'd be oh God, but thank you. Finally, that'll be enough because the pitching's so good and deep and everything else that it is. Yeah. So we'll watch Cags in AAA now, with a microscope. What's his line tonight, right? That's how we're going to have to treat this, because it's going to be the best option. It might be the only option. And the Royals, in the meantime, have a gauntlet of a schedule that's about to get underway that they're going to have to try to navigate. It'll be interesting to see what Cotrero can do. Again, mix up the lineup, do all these other little minor things we've talked about. Those don't solve the fundamental issue. The only thing that does that is, Vinny and Salvi hit for some power. We've said it. We've mentioned it. I really there's a decent chance Salvi doesn't feel 100% with his hip or whatever, but he was 2 for 4 yesterday. Good signs, right? Just get it all together here. They're about to play, Tommy, the Giants with 3 really good starting pitchers going up against them. So we'll get into that a little later in the show. We'll come back. We'll get caught up on the rest of the weekend. Scotty Scheffler, another major winner. We'll hit on that when we return on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, Tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
They're not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
What is GMFB overtime?
It's Peter, Jamie, Kyle, and Akbar breaking down the NFL 5 days a week.
It's okay to be excited.
It's this, that, and a whole lot of fantasy. It's football for everyone.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. on KSCW.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Glad to have you here. I want to tell you about the Odyssey Summer Concert Series. It's used to be called the KEYN Summer Concert Series. It's now the Summer Concert Series presented by Odyssey. We want to let you know about all the great stations here in the Odyssey family. So these will be Friday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. this summer. They'll start and end over at the Capitol Federal Amphitheater. June 20th, it gets going with Across the Pond. Then you've got shows the 27th, July 11th, July 18th. Then in late July, it moves over to NAFSCAR Park in Wichita for weekend shows again each Friday night, 8 to 10. They're free. They're great. So we're glad to have that for you here. and the Odyssey family of networks will be ready to party in the summertime. All right, we come back here now to Sports Daily, and we look around the rest of the world of sports, and Max is our hockey aficionado here. So before we look at some of the other stuff, Max, hockey, where do we sit in the Stanley Cup playoffs? I saw that our Winnipeg Jets went down and our Toronto Maple Leafs went down, so we're all
at
out
least Winnipeg put up a fight. They're going to break up. The Maple Leafs will be broken up. They have to. But
well,
the Jets game is good. They, the first goal,
overtime, right?
Yeah, the first goal that tied it for when Dallas tied it. If the goalie was standing up, he would have hit him in the chest. But I'm sorry I gave you bad advice.
That's Max. Listen, don't be. It's fine. I will tell you though that I am obligated now because a buddy became a rampant in the middle of the season Hurricanes fan for no reason. I'll tell you how that happened, and this is what I love about hockey. It was the USA-Canada rivalry series. What was that called? Whatever they called that. Frozen
Nation.
Whatever it was. Frozen Four. I don't know what it was called. Doesn't matter. Those games got him fired. He's like, that's it. I'm an NHL guy. I'm going to go find a team. And he told everybody he's going to be a Hurricanes fan. So now I'm obligated to go for them and just pretend like I'm a Hurricanes fan. They'll play the Panthers, right? In Edmonton is Canada's last hope to break the streak against the Dallas Stars, a team I'm also fond of. So that'll be it. We'll see how that plays out this week.
By the way, doesn't Max owe you a new driver now? Because
that's how that works, Max.
He gave you the advice for the Jets, and you took it, and now he's got to buy you a new driver,
or a used one, or not. I think I don't know that I can. Tommy, well, everybody, not just Tommy, makes fun of my driver because it's, boy, I don't know when that thing came out. Probably 2007. It's one of the you'll probably remember them too if you've ever played golf. They're the square Nike drivers. It sounds like a aluminum baseball bat when I hit it.
Yeah, that's the thing that is most notable about it is the sound it makes off of the ball hitting the club face, like the ding. It's interesting.
But it doesn't work anymore.
It works fine. I don't hit it as hard probably as I could if I got it like all the new technology of a driver. But every time I play, I'm like, you know what? As I'm hitting from the fairway, because I can hit that club usually straight as an arrow, is me being 20 yards further down the fairway for my game right now, as it currently stands, really going to change all that much?
Yes.
It will eventually.
No, I think it will. I think it will now.
But
I think
duffing a 6-iron doesn't make much of a difference when.
Yeah, but part of it too is the fact that, I'd say maybe 20% of the time, you tell me if my percentage is right here. 20% of the time you're hitting a range ball instead of hitting
20. No, just if there's water involved, usually.
You do realize that those range balls are like distance limited. That's why
Yeah. I only hit the range balls if I'm hitting over water. That's it.
Right, but you're basically hitting a worse golf ball, not just in the way it looks, but in the performance of it.
I get it.
Sacrificing your game when you do that.
I'm also potentially not sacrificing a ball. So when those are out, and listen, so this is fun at Crestview. Shout out to Crestview for being great supporters of the show. Like if we're on the north course, the range ball comes out a little more often because there's a whole lot more water in play than the south course. I'm on the south course, I rarely use them because I'm not hitting over water. I just get so aggravated when I hit into the water that I'm like, no, I'm not going to waste a good ball here.
You're about one step away in the cheapskate factor.
He's there
to where you're going to start like showering with your clothes on. So you're also doing your laundry at the same time.
I'm going to help you, Jake.
You're right.
Like I know my game. I don't want to lose nice balls.
Here's what you do. Instead of buying the driver, get those balls with the extra dimples, the illegal flight ball.
Yeah, you can do one of those.
There you go. No one's going to know.
Yeah.
Wait, what are they?
They have balls. Don't they have balls with extra dimples?
Oh, yeah.
They fly farther.
Oh yeah,
so
they're illegal. They're
not
not conforming. They don't fit in the rules of golf. But apparently they're supposed to fly farther. I would rather
I haven't heard of those.
One of those than use a range ball, which looks real trashy. If I'm going to use a word.
To me, I don't care. See, I don't give a rip.
I know you don't care, but the rest of us that play golf with you do care.
Well, listen, I tell my kids all the time, you can't control what other people think. So you just kind of don't have to worry about it. the thing in my game that I got a 56 finally, and it's like made a huge impact. That's where like I get
You
smashed.
shot a 56? Oh, a 56-degree wedge. Okay.
Oh, I've shot lots
Yeah,
of 56s.
yeah.
Yes, lots of them. Not lately. Not lately. Hey, I fired a 43 on the front nine of Crestview last week. Didn't have time to play the back nine, so we're just going to pretend that I would have shot a 43 then on the back nine to follow that up, and that would have been the best round I played.
How many times did the foot wedge come out in that 9
That
holes?
one, no, I haven't. The only thing I would have done is like a breakfast ball early because I didn't have time to warm up, and I think I hit one that way. But yeah, no, it wasn't. It was not. It was legit. I wouldn't have sent it to you if it was a foot wedge driven, score. That doesn't mean anything, and I won't follow it up with anything. We're just bits and pieces, and driver's fine. It doesn't. I don't think that's gonna be the thing that saves my game just yet, but I'll find one. But I kind of like having I kind of like going out and playing golf with Tommy and embarrassing him with my aluminum bat driver and pulling out a range ball to hit over the water so I don't lose my, whatever, my used ball I get from some academy or something. Like when I get good, I'll have nice things. But until then, I'm not going to reward myself.
You do recognize, though, that you can get a box of really cheap golf balls that actually perform like normal. They're not range balls. You're like, I don't want to get rid of a nice golf ball. You can get like a Wilson golf ball or like a Max Fly, or go get like the Kirkland Costco brand
one of those
box of golf balls. Like those are all really cheap. And then you're not pulling out a range ball to hit during which, by the way, when I've played golf with you before, if I actually cared about this as much as I really don't. It's just more embarrassing than anything else. You would get penalized like multiple times. Like I would call penalties on you if you cannot switch out your ball in the middle of a hole like that. Like that's a 2-stroke penalty every time you do that in the rules of golf. I'm not calling you on it.
You can do that can you do that on, can't you putt with a different ball though?
I don't think you can switch out your golf ball at all in the middle of a hole, like unless you lose it, unless you genuinely cannot pick up a golf ball in the middle of the fairway and drop a range ball down so you can hit it over water. That is against the rules of the game.
Most of the time, it's off the tee. But yeah, I get you. I get you.
I'm going to look this up during the break.
So if I start with a range ball, though, I just have to finish with the range ball.
I think playing with the range ball in general is illegal, but I'm going to look it up.
Probably is. I'm probably going to get a call from Crestview like, hey. And no, I don't go take them. They're the ones that are like strays out in the middle of the course that I'm like, oh, hey, look, a range ball. I'll use this one to hit over that water. Speaking of golf, I don't think Tommy, I don't think Scotty Scheffler is prone to need a range ball in his bag to hit over water. Did you think after the first couple of rounds there, Tommy, that Scotty was going to be in a position to win this one? Man, he shot up that leaderboard late. I kind of wasn't paying that much of. We saw Sam Stevens, of course, have a great Friday, and we're like, oh man, I wasn't really expecting that from Scotty, and he sure went and took it. And then of course on Sunday, he's just so smothering, nobody can catch him when he's on like that.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of lingering in the leaderboard early in the day on Saturday, and then it was really the end of the round on Saturday, the end of the third round when he shot at the leaderboard. And all of a sudden he enters into the final round on Sunday with, I think, a 3-stroke lead. It's almost kind of like what we talked about early in the show about the Royals are down 1-0, and you're like, man, they're not going to come back. I felt that way about the rest of the field as soon as Scotty had a 3-stroke lead. Like, there you go. Like Scotty's going to win himself a third major and his first PGA championship. And it was a lot more interesting than that. I mean, there was a moment in time when Jon Rahm tied Scheffler. Scheffler didn't have a great front nine yesterday, and Rahm was kind of on fire, but then Rahm faded away and Bryson DeChambeau faded away, and Scotty birdied a couple of holes on the back nine, and that was all she wrote. I think it solidifies Scotty as, I'd say that there are probably 3 top golfers right now in the game of golf, and those 3 guys are Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, and Bryson DeChambeau. Those 3 guys right now are the cream of the crop. DeChambeau was in the final grouping at the Masters. He won the U.S. Open last year. He's been right there in the mix in major championships. We obviously know what Rory did at Augusta, and then Scotty wins himself another major. So it's really those 3 guys, and then everybody else kind of looking up at them.
Scotty is above all of that, I was actually surprised that it's only 3. He's 28, so he's not old at all. But I was surprised it's only 3. But he has so many wins. So we judge golf by majors and everything else. And yeah, when I get it. His greatness is that when he is in front, it feels impossible to catch him because he's not going to go out and bogey a bunch of holes. How, what are we putting because I think the vibe right now for him as a more casual observer for sure is that he's got the best chance to be the next great one. We've had a lot of good ones, but he's got the chance to be the next great one, right? That we're talking about in that upper echelon that we really haven't had since Tiger. We thought it would be Rory, and then it kind of wasn't Rory. It feels like Scheffler's got the best shot of Jordan Spieth had a minute where we thought it was going to be Jordan Spieth. But is Scheffler, is he there yet for most golf fans? And because to me, it feels like he is.
Yeah, he's there for sure. I mean, he's won 2 green jackets at Augusta, and then obviously picks up the Wanamaker Trophy with the PGA Championship. No, he's there, and he's got a lot of time left. I mean, he's 28. He's in his 20s still. He's younger than Rory. He's younger than Bryson, I believe. So he's got time to do that for sure. And I thought John Rahm, remember he's won a green jacket.
He was
also
former number 1, wasn't he?
Former number 1. He's probably
Scotty kind of blew up.
He's probably right there too. I mean, he's probably 4th, as far as top golfers in the world right now. So no, I do think Scotty is there. He really had not played particularly well leading up to the PGA Championship, and I think there were some questions about whether or not he was going to be able to make it happen anytime soon, but he did, and he looked really good. And the thing about Scotty, we've talked about it before, is when he's under pressure, he just locks in and he doesn't make mistakes. He didn't have a great front 9, but when it mattered the most, the back 9 on Sunday, he showed why he is the number 1 golfer in the world right now.
Shout out to Sam Stevens. Didn't finish the weekend strong, but boy, he had a good first couple of rounds. He continues to be a name this year on the tour. He's having a really, really good year. So we'll continue to watch him.
By the way, I looked it up. According to the USGA, if you use a different golf ball at any point during a hole that you play, that's a 2-stroke penalty. So it does.
USGA rules. USGA rules. I play by PGA.
They govern the game of golf.
I play by
you play by Jacob's rules of golf.
I play by Farm Boy rules. That's what I play by. All right, we'll come back. Second hour of Sports Daily. Keep it here.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
They're not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
What is GMFB overtime?
It's Peter, Jamie, Kyle, and Akbar breaking down the NFL 5 days a week.
It's okay to be excited.
It's this, that, and a whole lot of fantasy. It's football for everyone.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. on KSCW.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems
Why are they hiding it?
and real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily with Jacob Albrock and Tommy Gester.
Right, welcome back in, everybody. Hour number 2. We'll get more into it here in this second hour. We'll get you caught up on the NBA playoffs, look ahead to those conference finals. We'll look ahead to this Giant series for the Royals, which could be a little trouble based on what we've been seeing lately. Tommy I think you're barking up the wrong tree with this poll. I think most people are going to be with me on the not taking golf quite as seriously. Rick,
it's not taking golf super seriously. It's following the rules. It's like, if
by
you're going
switching balls, you think the majority of listeners out there are concerned when they play golf about using a different ball?
When you're using a range ball, yes.
To hit over water, you act like I've got a bag full of range balls.
It's against the rules of the game.
Okay, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes for you. Rick says you're good. We're not pros. I use cheap nitro balls.
Right, Rick. At least you're using an actual golf ball for the course. It'd be different if you're like, I've got a bag full of range balls, and that's all I do to play.
A tennis ball out there. All right. We'll let that. Tommy's got a poll up, though. Is it fine, or should he be calling penalty strokes if I use a range ball to hit over the water?
Keep in mind, we've golfed multiple times, and I've never called a penalty on you
No,
about
you
it.
haven't, because that would be the lamest thing ever. I've played golf 1,000 times with 1,000
is,
people, and I would say you're the only person who's ever even said anything about that.
I'm not the only. I can't be the only person.
You're literally the only person I've ever played
you're
with.
Literally picking up your golf ball in the middle of the fairway and you're dropping a range ball down. Like, that's against the rules of the game, against the spirit of the rules of the game.
I've never played with anybody who's ever said a word about anything like that. But let's see how the poll goes. Okay. So that's out there. Scheffler gets a win. Scheffler's got us thinking golf. That's the beauty of Scotty Scheffler and what he could do again for the game. And I think Rory was the first one to do it post Tiger. I think Jordan Spieth had it feels like that was brief. Maybe it wasn't brief. You'd remember better than I would, of like, could this be the guy? But Scotty's done it. Scotty's united us, partly because of the year ago anniversary of the him getting arrested thing. I think that added to the lore a little bit. But I do think, like, pop culture golf, he's probably the most pop culture golf we've had. Maybe, like, the casual observer will be like, oh, what's Scotty doing? I think he's captured that part of, like, the general sports audience a little bit. I hope so, because I think that, that's so great for the game of golf. So that's what has us talking golf here today. Let's talk a little bit, Tommy, about the NBA playoffs, because they're here. The Thunder, like that, we're kind of surprised, right, that series even got to 7 games, but the Thunder take care of business. They win it big in Game 7. Big. That game was never close. The Knicks took care of business. That's sort of how the weekend wrapped up. So now we have the conference finals. Thunder, T-Wolves. The Thunder open tomorrow night, Game 1, as 7.5-point favorites. And then in the East, it's Knicks, Pacers. The Knicks, 4-point favorites at home in that opener. I mean, now we're to the point, injuries aside, because they've been such a big part of this postseason, but I mean, any combination here, nobody's going to be surprised, right? This should be a great conference finals. Like, you've got Knicks fans all over the world that are like, could this be the one? And the answer is like, yeah, it could be. Like, it really could be now. You've got the upstart. Are the Pacers upstarts? They're probably a little bit of upstarts. The Timberwolves are not, even though they're like a 6 seed. I think everybody thought the Timberwolves had this in them. And then, of course, the Thunder have been the best team all year. I like it. I think this will be a fun conference finals here.
I know Minnesota will have something to say about this, but I still think that there's a reason why the Thunder are the top team as far as odds are concerned to win the NBA Finals. I think that they will win the Western Conference Finals. I think that it doesn't matter if it's the Knicks or the Pacers. I think that they'll beat them in the NBA Finals, and I think we're on pace. We're on track for an Oklahoma City championship. And again, I think the T-Wolves probably have something to say about that. Anthony Edwards probably has something to say about that. But just in the way that Oklahoma City dismantled Denver yesterday, I know it took 7 games, and there's a part of me where I'm like, what took you so long to be able to do that? Because that's what we wanted to see from the Thunder all along in the semifinals. But they looked every bit of the top team in the NBA yesterday in the way that they took down Jokic and the entire crew there from Denver.
Okay, so they are pretty heavy favorites, right? They're minus 175. The Knicks are plus 450. The T-Wolves are 6-1, and the Pacers are 8-1. That's telling there. I think, Vegas obviously thinks the Thunder are for reals. I think of any of those like bets, probably the T-Wolves would be the bet at 6-1. I think their odds are a little inflated because they would obviously have to get through the Thunder to get there. But I do think in a finals, they'd be favored over either of those Eastern Conference teams. Just a guess on my part, though. So yeah, they're the favorite. I think what's interesting about the Thunder to me is if the Thunder are able to get this done, what does that mean long-term for the league? Because the Thunder, like, the T-Wolves have the best player, right? They've got Anthony Edwards. He is making a case to be the best player in basketball this year. And then you've got the Thunder, who have this insane depth. They have so many good players, all these young players. Like they sort of, they have it all. And yes, they have their star in SGA too. but they have a lot of star power, right? Like
They're
they've
very
got a lot of
balanced.
guys that can come at you and do this stuff with a roster that like doesn't feel like it's going anywhere anytime soon. So if they're able to get through and get it done this year, what does it mean? We wondered the same thing about Denver, and they haven't been able to get back there. We wondered the same thing about Milwaukee, and they hadn't been able to get back there. But the Thunder do feel a little different than both of those teams to me because they have so much depth, right? Like they don't have the like SGA is great. They don't have that, but I think there could be some staying power.
They're very balanced. I loved their game plan in Game 7 yesterday, and Alex Caruso defensively, by the way, was phenomenal. And he jumped all over Jokic, and he's got, I mean, there's quite a decent size disparity between Jokic and Caruso. It was almost kind of like Caruso was like that annoying fly that was like buzzing around Jokic's head, and Jokic had to keep like trying to swat him away. But he really disrupted what Jokic wanted to do in the game. And the game plan for Oklahoma City was basically throw everything they could in the kitchen sink at Nikola Jokic, and then let a hobbled Aaron Gordon try to beat them. And Gordon wasn't able to do that. And Michael Porter Jr. didn't contribute. Christian Brown didn't really do a whole lot in the game. And they threw the kitchen sink at Jokic, and it worked. That was a great strategy, I thought, from the Thunder. And I think that going into the game, most people thought, okay, they're going to go right after Aaron Gordon because he's hurt. And they really didn't do that. They're like, you know what, Gordon, like, go prove it. Like, if you're able to play on that bad leg, go and prove it. And we're going to put our resources elsewhere. And it ended up working in a large way for the Thunder.
I've always said this. One of the reasons I think college basketball is, to me, has become like a great experience is because it's so much easier to understand the nuance of each individual game. In the NBA, like, you hear former players talk about this, and I believe it 1,000%. Like, it's next level. Like a lot, like for me, the nuance in a game isn't quite as crystal clear. And so, yeah, like when you get really great coaching, it's harder to see it. Like, Popovich did it forever. I think Spoelstra in Miami never gets enough credit for how great, like when you see it, it's crazy to see it. And yes, the Thunder are doing that. And that's a part of their depth, I think. Like, I think it's because they can be so versatile that they can do 1,000 different things in these games. Yes, oftentimes in the NBA, it becomes like a 3-point chuck fest. And I don't like that, but that's basketball in general. But yeah, I think I agree with you on everything you just said about that game. And I can't wait to see the next series because I think you've got great teams. I think you have young ascending teams all the way across the board here with stars that we are, getting accustomed to now in the league. And that's also a really good thing. And we've had this for a while in the NBA. The NBA has been on a heater as far as like spreading the wealth and having this each year in, year out. We haven't had a dynasty in a while, and not since the Warriors. I mean, it's been a long time now since we've had a consistent, dynastic presence in the NBA. And I don't know if that's good for the ratings, but for me, I think it makes the league more fun.
Yeah, I think it does too. I mean, yeah, because it became a foregone conclusion every year. It seemed like for 4 or 5 years that it was the Warriors, and good luck to anybody else that wants to try to do anything to dethrone them. And now it's a lot more. The parity is there for sure. You've got a lot more competition, which does make it more interesting. I do think it's interesting that in the clinching games, in a couple of them at least, like it was just a throttling. Like Oklahoma City completely beating up on Denver, and the Knicks really beating up on the Celtics. Obviously, the Celtics had a bunch of injuries and all of that, but we in the deciding games, we really haven't seen a whole lot of like nail biters.
Yeah, no, and that's not just in these recent series, but all the way through. It's been really good. It's been really good. It's been a fun postseason. Hopefully that continues and we get great conference finals here into an NBA finals where we learn a lot about some young ascending teams. And I can't help but be happy for Knicks fans here. They've waited a long time for this. And they have a real shot. And that is, to me, that's always been a really fun and cool fan base. So good luck to all of them. If you're a rogue fan of any of these teams, I think we'll have more Thunder fans than any other. Our guy Brandon Zinner, big T-Wolves fan. Like there'll be lots of he'll be on with you this week, next week during that series. So that'll be fun to get his take on it. We'll come back When we come back, let's look at this. Let's look at this giant series for the Royals. We'll go back to baseball here. I don't know if you've looked, like the starting pitching they're going up against in this series is good. So we may be in for some more low-scoring games. We'll be back with that on Sports Daily. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
They're not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
What is GMFB Overtime?
It's Peter, Jamie, Kyle, and Akbar breaking down the NFL 5 days a week.
It's okay to be excited.
It's this, that, and a whole lot of fantasy. It's football for everyone.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. on KSCW.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issue a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
win some HTO, you can do that right now. It is getting to be iced tea season. That's for sure. And you can win a free cup on us here at Sports Daily. These will be good for East or West Wichita or down in Derby. All you got to do to win a free cup of tea is text the keyword tea. That's TEA to 20357. You can enter once per day. Message and data rates apply. You can go inside, try them all for free, find out what you like, and then grab that free cup of tea on us. That's T20357. Good luck, everybody. Welcome back in here to Sports Daily. We'll go back to the Royals here. So we went back through sort of the St. Louis series. Now let's kind of look forward a little bit on the schedule. The Royals have lost 6 of 9 here, which is basically they've lost each of the last 3 series. They've won 1 game in each of those series. Now they face the Giants, who are pretty good this year. They'll face Minnesota up next. So you've got the Giants, who are one of the better teams in baseball. When I say they're pretty good, by run differential, by record, however you want to look at it, they're playing an insane division right now, but they're really good. You're going to their place and you're playing against 3 great starting pitchers. So you have that. Then you have Minnesota, who we've well documented has been absolutely on fire, hottest team any team has been in baseball all year long. So that's also on the schedule then. So that's the next week here, Tommy. And then after that, and they're not even, remember, like June is the one where it starts to get, and all these games are on the road this week, by the way. They get a day off on Thursday. Then they go back home to play Cincinnati. Cincinnati, a lot of good young talent there. Terry Francona, they're a 500 team. Okay. Then after that, it's Detroit, who again, right now is the best team in baseball. That's how you finish the month of May. All teams above 500. All teams are at or above 500. 2 of those teams are 2 of the 3 or 4 best teams in baseball right now. There are a lot of terms for this. Some of them aren't appropriate for radio, but it is time to get after it. We'll leave it in that one. For the Royals, like this is a part of the problem that's like there's just not ever going to be true schedule relief. They've already done that, and they've passed it with flying colors, right? They won, 16 out of 20, whatever it was. Like they stomped that part of their schedule. That's in the past now. It's not there anymore, and I don't think it's going to be. If you look through the rest of the season, they're not going to have a 20-game stretch like that where it's just great opponent after great opponent. It doesn't exist again on the schedule the rest of the year.
The good news with the Giants series, at least here in the short term, is that even though they're going up against 3 really good pitchers for the Giants, you've got Bubic and you've got Lorenzen on the bump Monday and Tuesday, and Bubic has been phenomenal. And I know it looks like it's going to be him and Robbie Ray tonight squaring off. That's a matchup I want to watch because, I mean, it wouldn't be surprising to me whatsoever if we have another 0-0 game going into the 7th or something. You know what I mean? So I do think that is a silver lining for the Royals going into this series. And with Lorenzen, who's your, by default, your 5th starter in the rotation, he's been really good this year too. And he's probably going up against the weakest of the 3 Giants pitchers in this series and Hayden Birdsong tomorrow night. And so I think there are a couple of silver linings there for the Royals, at least in the first 2 games of the series. My big question mark is, what are they going to do in the finale on Wednesday afternoon? Could it be a bullpen game? Could we see an opener? Could we see Noah Cameron move up, a day in the rotation and try to go on short rest? I mean, there are a couple of different scenarios that they could potentially look at for Wednesday's game.
I think it'll probably be a bullpen game. And is Avila, is he a starter? I don't know anything about.
I don't see anything about that. I'm not seeing I don't even see his name anywhere. They called up Evan Sisk when they put Reagans on the IL. It was the reliever Evan Sisk that came up to be on the team, on the big league roster. And so I don't know who Avila is. I don't even see him on their roster.
Well, he's a listed starter on a site. Let me see if the Royals have even on their own site. Yeah, they have not listed a starter. So maybe it's Sisk. Who know? I don't know. Maybe it's Avila. He's very young, 23. This year in the minors, like he has been fine. He's been in Omaha. He's got a 4.74 ERA.
Avila, is that who you're looking at from Omaha?
Yeah, Luinder Avila.
I don't see I don't see the Royals. They didn't call him up. They called up Evan Sisk.
How am I
Evan Sisk is on. I don't know where you're
starter
seeing
then?
that.
Okay.
I
So
have
somebody's
no
wrong
idea.
there.
He's still in Omaha.
Okay, so
Evan
my
Sisk
bad.
was the guy that
I
they
don't
called.
know why he's being projected a starter on CBS Sports, because on the Royals don't have a listed starter yet. So either way, it's not going to. I mean, maybe somebody pitches like Cameron, but you're right. That's going to be the spot there that you feel like the offense is going to have to step it up, and that's the best pitcher probably that they'll face. Logan Webb's very good, so
They
maybe
could
it's
also
this.
decide that it could be Daniel Lynch, potentially getting the start.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
They're not going to call anybody else up because their roster is full at this point with the addition of Evan Sisk, and he's a reliever. If they wanted to bring up another starter, they would have done that as opposed to Sisk calling him up. So it's somebody who's currently on the roster is going to start this game on Wednesday, whether that is a bullpen game with an opener, whether that is Daniel Lynch trying to go, whether that is moving up Noah Cameron a day. Like, there are a couple of different options, but it's going to be somebody who's already in house.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That was looking at the wrong place, I guess, for that information on my part. Either way in this series, the offense is going to be at a premium. Hopefully both directions, because the Giants have actually been very good offensively this year. They are, a little above league average offensively. And of course, their pitching is very good, as it typically is. So can the Royals match it? At some point, with all the concern that we've talked about, and yes, we're 50 games into the season, and yes, it's a long-term concern that I don't think is going to just solve itself completely. At some point, they will be better than they've been. I still do believe that. I just don't think that's going to be enough still internally. But I do think at some point it'll be better. Could happen at any point, right? Like stuff like that, like all of a sudden a switch could flip. But this isn't good timing for it because the Giants can really, really pitch. Daniel Lynch, boy, if they start him, I kind of, again, like I hope it's maybe a 2 or 3 inning situation in a part of a bullpen game, because I do think big picture again, like he's too valuable right now in the role he's in. If he continues and does this all year, next year when they probably lose some pitchers to free agency, stretch him out and make him a starter like you did with Bubic this year. At that point, that would be preferred for me. Now, if any of these injuries are long term, which we don't think that they are, then I think you can start to think about that. But even then, you're going to let him do it at the big league level, or are they going to have to send him down and let him stretch out? Like that'll be tricky.
Well, here's the other good thing about this game on Wednesday, the finale of the Giants series, is they do get a day off on Thursday. So you can go Bubic on Monday, Lorenzen on Tuesday, and then you can deploy a bunch of relievers potentially on Wednesday in that finale, because they do have a day off on Thursday before you start the weekend series in Minnesota. So you're not up against it to where you've got to try to save pitchers and, limit pitch counts and usage and that sort of thing, because they do have that travel day, that day off on Thursday to get a little bit of rest. And I do think that that's important and probably will play into what kind of strategy they do on Wednesday. If I'm a betting man right now, I would think that they would probably go some kind of bullpen game and just try to stretch it out among, 4 or 5 different pitchers on that Wednesday, take the day off on Thursday, then have your best chance at a good rotation going into the weekend series in Minnesota.
It does feel a little pressure heavy tonight with Bubic on the mound, though, and as good as he's been to kind of get that win tonight. These are, by the way, very late starts. They're like 8:45 starts here locally for us, just so you're aware. The day off thing is interesting looking at it. Tommy, I don't think they play a 4-game series again until late June, which means they'll get a day off every week basically for the next month and a half. That's handy probably for them right now. That's probably a pretty good news for them. So the other big news over the weekend for the Royals that we're closely watching is Jack Caglione was called up to AAA. The pipe dream that he might appear in Wichita is officially dead. We probably knew that was dead about a week into the season, or even before the season started, but he's not going to be in AA late enough in the year, obviously, for him to come to Wichita. So sorry, Wind Surge fans and Royals fans here in town. But he's up at AAA now. This is the path Bobby Witt Jr. took. I don't recall when Bobby Witt Jr. got called up the year before he was a major leaguer and how much time he spent in AAA, but that was the path for Bobby Witt Jr. too. Some teams skip AAA. The Royals usually don't because Omaha's right down the street from Kansas City. It's probably easier logistically. And Cags is an advanced hitter anyway, as a college hitter. So getting in there against more grizzled veteran AAA pitching is probably a good thing. So this year for Cags, let's just go back now, because last year he jumped into high A out of college essentially and wasn't great in 30 games, which is not that big a deal. And then he starts the year this year at Northwest Arkansas. And so he hasn't been in the minor leagues. Remember, he was playing college baseball last year. So now he has come in, he's played 40 games, 38. And he's killing it, right? He's got an OPS just under 950. He's getting on base in an incredible clip, which means he is walking. Tommy, his walk to strikeout ratio is pretty good. It's about 2-1 strikeouts to walks, which I think, that's always a concern for younger players. And he obviously is hitting for a lot of power. He's got 9 home runs, 43 RBIs. He just is doing all the things that the Royals lack so desperately. He does those things. And that's why it's always been such a natural, you've got this top prospect in all of baseball who's past AA with flying colors. Like, at what point? I think, listen, I'll be honest. I think the days of worrying about being blocked at first base are long gone. I think when he's ready to hit, if he does this for 2-3 weeks in AAA at the same pace, if he gets 20 games down there and he just continues, I think you got to move him up, and you just don't worry about, what's going on elsewhere at the position, because they just have to have somebody there, and you'll figure out the other guys can find somewhere else to play.
One of the things that I actually really like about the timing of Cags coming up to AAA is that he'll join Omaha when they're on the road. They don't play at home until the day after Memorial Day. So we're talking a week from tomorrow. They're on a road trip this entire time. I actually kind of like that because he can get accustomed to AAA pitching on the road. And I mean, you can imagine what the crowds are going to be like in Omaha. Like, they've been waiting on Cags to, and probably a lot of them wondering if he would even make a stop in Omaha at all, or just completely bypass the Storm Chasers and go directly to the Royals. But he'll play for Omaha, but at least he gets a few games to get under his belt before he goes and plays at home a little bit. I do like that, as opposed to throwing him right into the fire in front of the home fans in Omaha. He can get accustomed to that a little bit. So I do like that strategy a lot.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if, he's not in Omaha a very long time. I mean,
I wouldn't either. Not anymore.
I think it's probably a few weeks. Like, it wouldn't shock me if we're talking Cags making his major league debut middle of June, probably. That's kind of where I'm targeting right now in my mind. If he can continue to show the development, and if he hits the way anywhere close to the way that he hit in AA. I mean, he had an OPS at almost 1, right? And so, I mean, it's huge. If he can do even a shred of that in AAA, I think we're going to see him called up to the bigs sooner rather than later.
Because at the big league level, and I agree, and I think it's been amplified. I think that call up tells us they're amplifying things with him. I don't. Otherwise, they just didn't need to do that yet. And so, yes, I agree. I think we're seeing him on a fast track. Watch for one thing though. Watch where he plays positionally. If he's still only playing first base in Omaha, he's probably going to just be a first baseman, and we can count out the possibility of him sliding into a corner outfield spot. So we'll watch that too. But yes, like the thing is, for what he's doing right now, like, what would you need him to realistically do to help this big league club? And it's not to come up and do what he's doing in AA. You can take that, like, that expectation can go somewhere else. That would be his expectation in a couple of years after some big league seasoning. Right now, though, if he can just come up and be a 260 hitter with some pop, that is an immediate upgrade to the big league club, right? So if he is significantly worse than what he is doing right now, in the minor leagues. And this is why I think AAA will be a good spot for him. I agree. If he can continue what he did in AA and AAA for the most part, they don't need the Royals are so desperate for offense right now. He can come up and see his batting average drop 60 points from what it is in the minor leagues. And it will be a significant upgrade right now for this offense, as long as he's still hitting for power. And he almost certainly will still be hitting for power, right? It's just how often is he hitting for power? He's not going to come up to the big leagues and not be able to hit for power. That won't happen. It's just like, how often can he effectively hit for power? He's always going to hit for power. And they just don't have any of that. For Vinny's not a power hitter. Like Vinny, I don't know, has ever been on pace or projected for more than about 20 to 25 home runs a year. Like he's not, like he looks like one, but that's not his game. Salvi is, but doesn't look right now. And obviously Bobby Witt Jr. is, but that's it really on the roster like that. Those are the only guys that are that. And so he comes up potentially and fills such a drastic need for this team, who's DAL in home runs and probably will be regardless of any move they make this year, partly because of this park they play in, obviously, but partly because that's just not how they're built. They just don't have a lot of power in the lineup. And it's been a problem for them because they can't drive any runs in.
Yeah, they need Cags to do one thing and one thing only.
One thing.
Driving runs. That's
one out of
it.
every 4 at bats. Yeah. Can you hit the ball with some emphasis, please?
And I don't particularly care how he's driving in runs. I don't care if he's a doubles machine. I don't care if he's smacking home runs out of the park.
Irrelevant.
But the fact that he has consistently shown that he hits the ball so hard, like right on the screws. I mean, I think that it's a foregone conclusion that if he can continue again, even a shred of that at the big league level, it's going to be a success for the Royals. I know we got hung up for a while on what position is he going to play and is it going to be blocked and all of that. And I think for good reason, long term,
right.
That's been the conversation. But right away, I think you have to throw all of that out the window and just know you need him to do one thing if you are the Royals, and that is to drive in runs and stop leaving runners stranded, to stop, getting into a situation where they cannot drive in runs to win ball games. The nice thing about Cags also is that when he inevitably gets promoted to the big league level, he'll also know what his role is. Maybe not in the field, but he should know at least, they need me to do one thing, and that is to drive in runs. And that's what I'm going to do.
And that's, yeah, I agree. Like there was a defensive concern when you thought Salvi and Vinny were in the way. Right now, no offense to either of those players who I love and have a ton of respect for, they are not in the way at the current moment. And so everything has to get shrunk down. And right now in a 4-team race, I don't care about anything else. They have to start winning games. Like they are going to have to keep pace in one of the better divisions in baseball. That's it. Like that's all that matters. And yeah, I know it's just May 19th. Doesn't change anything. The Royals will start that series tonight against the Giants. It'll be a late game. You'll hear it here with us on KFH. All right, we'll come back. We got another segment of Sports Daily. We'll check in on Tommy's golf poll when we return. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
They're not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
What is GMFB overtime?
It's Peter, Jamie, Kyle, and Akbar breaking down the NFL 5 days a week.
It's okay to be excited.
It's this, that, and a whole lot of fantasy. It's football for everyone.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. on KSCW.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Sports Daily here on KFH. Having some fun on a Monday, getting you ready for the week. Be weather aware out there today. Again, we have storms, not quite as intense a setup as yesterday, but it was a very, very tough night for Grinnell and Plevna, two small Kansas towns that took a lot of tornado damage. So be thinking about them, be praying for them. Hopefully they're getting a lot of help and get all the support that they need. But a reminder to just stay on your toes this time of year. Take those warnings seriously. And if you're one of the people that likes to email and get mad because your 1 mile radius did not see weather last night and you get mad at the Mets, go fly a kite. Go somewhere else. Find something better to do.
Max and I were talking during the break. Did you see pictures? And I know it was like after dark, but pictures of these tornadoes, like massive,
they're
ledge tornado, like just huge.
Yeah, they were gnarly. Last night, and again, I'm very amateur. Like my knowledge and experience with this just comes from like mostly trying to stay safe while out in those when I was a reporter and doing that more often, and just kind of being around our meteorologist for 20 years now. That radar last night, you and I were texting about it because I know you're a weather junkie also. That radar for the storm going south of Greensburg.
Oh my God.
That on radar, because it's dark, you can't see it, but on radar, I mean, it doesn't get any more like, holy crap, there's a huge tornado right there. Like
it seemed like major deja vu from 2007. And I was here. I mean, I'm from here, and I think I was in college when that tornado hit, I'm pretty sure. And I remember watching the coverage that night, and then fast forward, 18 years watching last night. And I'm like, man, this looks like a carbon copy of what it was then. And that was so devastating. The way that tornado went through Greensburg in 2007. Fortunately, praise God that it did not ultimately hit the town, but there were other towns.
And there are farmsteads and stuff.
Yeah.
Look, I have so much appreciation and respect for meteorologists and storm chasers and the people trying to legitimately and genuinely save lives. And they are. You better, like, they 100% are. Just pay attention, everybody. Like, they're out there and that's what they're trying to do. And yeah, sometimes it interrupts shows and golf and everything else. And just understand, like, towns were wiped out last night and yesterday afternoon. Okay. That is why those interruptions happen, and those interruptions save people's lives. So stay aware out there every day, everybody today. Keep, Storm Team 12 app handy. It's great. It lets you watch the radar, and it will alert you, by the way, probably more importantly than anything else. You set your alerts, and it will make very loud noises if you have a storm in your path and you're sleeping at night or whatever it is. So just be careful out there, everybody, and our thoughts and prayers certainly with those two towns and everybody else impacted by the weather last night. All right, let's get everybody updated. This golf poll, sometimes content falls into your lap, Tom, and this range ball over water content's been a lot of fun. We got a lot of comments from people. I don't think the poll is going particularly well for you. 90% of the respondents, only like 10 people are on my side here. So, several people have brought it up though. Like, if there's money on the line, you can't do that. I completely agree. Like,
we play we play for money. Like, we've played
when we played most recently, I didn't pull a range ball out when we were doing that.
Okay, good. I do agree with that. And I think that's the important caveat.
That was, and for me, like, that's honestly, like, if I'm playing golf and like we're doing that, like, if we're actually playing golf and we're doing, like, I don't get out a foot wedge. I have to ask some of the rules because I'm not completely aware. Like, where's the drop? What does it mean? Like, how do I, like, yes, if there is if I'm in a scramble, like, if there are any circumstances where this needs to be an official score, yeah, I'm going to do whatever needs to be. I don't know all those rules, but I ask every time. But no, when I'm just out 90% of the time and I don't want to lose a ball, yeah, I'm going to pull out my range ball and I'm going to hit it over water so that I don't lose a ball. That's it for me. I don't have any shame in that. None.
Yeah. And look, like, I do think that, and we didn't talk about it when we put this poll together. We were discussing it earlier in the hour. I do agree with that. I mean, like, if we're just out there having fun and, like, do whatever you want, like, give yourself a better lie, swap out a ball if you, I mean, honestly, I don't care, but I do agree. Like, if we've even got $5 on the line, okay.
It doesn't matter if it's a beer. I don't care what it is. Like, yeah, we got to, now something I do, and tell me if you ever do this, something I like to do, like, if I'm playing by myself and I'm playing 9 holes, like, and I'm flying, or if I'm kind of stuck behind somebody, which is totally okay, by the way, because I'm playing by myself, I might hit 2 balls from every spot just to give myself more practice. Is that a phobia? I always wonder.
If you're playing by yourself and you're just having a good time doing it, there's no issue. I've done that before. Like, hey, I'm just going to go get some practice in on the course, and I'm going to hit a few different balls from different areas. And
I just hit 2 from every spot.
I mean, here's a good example of that. I know, like, when even PGA Tour golfers are playing practice rounds, they'll go work. I mean, they'll get on the green and they'll go putt multiple times just to get a good feel of the course and of the green. Like, that's okay. I have no issue with that whatsoever. But, like, if you and I were going out and we're playing for $5 or a beer, after the round, at that point, I'm not gonna hit multiple balls.
No. I'm not either. And I don't even care if it's like we're just keeping score to see who wins, even if there's not a wager there. Like, if there is anything competitive in it, I can't do
The
that.
exception to that would be like hitting a provisional. Like the ball may have went out of bounds. I'm not sure. I'm going to hit a second one just to
Oh,
be
yeah.
safe and make sure. Like that's totally well within the
Like, if you
rules.
go find the first and you hit the first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that just saves time, right? We're all trying to not clog up a golf course. But anyway, we're getting out there. I think we're going to try to, we're going to have some bragging rights. I don't know how we'll split this up, but friends of the, show and host of the show from time to time, Brandon Zenner, TJ Cleveland, we're going to try and get out and play with them this week.
We do, apparently, according to Max. We have some audio that I think reflects you on the golf course. That
okay, let's hear this.
Everybody.
Don't count that. I was interfered with.
Yes, sir.
By the way, what did Mr. Webb shoot this morning?
Well, he doesn't keep score, sir.
Yes, I know, but just guess. 80, 75?
More like 68, I think.
I mean, that does seem accurate.
Yeah, that's good.
Max, what did you say before you hit 6 right down?
Yell 4.
Yell 4.
Shoot 10 right down 3.
Yeah, that's. Listen, I don't care enough to need to win that bad. I just want my game to be better. Like that's legitimately, and I don't want to spend a fortune on golf balls either. Jason says, not going to lie, I have no idea what a foot wedge is. Jason, that's when you don't like where it is. You just kick it where you want it.
You kick it.
Yeah.
It's one step away from picking your ball up and throwing it down the fairway.
Right. Yeah. Like I'm in the thick rough. There's a 0% chance I'm hitting this ball more than 6 inches. I'm going to kick it out into a better lie. That's a foot wedge. That's why like when we're like, oh man, what was your score? Like any foot wedge? Like, was that a real score or did you, and so that's what a foot wedge is.
I actually on Saturday played the best round of the year. Went out to Crestview, actually took my son out and he's almost 4 and he hung throughout the entire 18-hole stretch with me. And he would make some swings and hit the ball a few times. He might be my good luck charm because it was the best round I've played all year long.
I played the best 9 with my oldest daughter. She came out with me, whatever. I don't know what night it was. So yeah, maybe our kids are a good luck charm. I'm glad the sun's out later because I'm going to play more like twilight golf now when school gets out. So that's coming.
Yeah,
appreciate everybody.
By the way, I'm clearly losing this poll, but that's okay. Like I didn't put the clarification of if we're playing for money, like if we're actually playing competitively. Because I do agree with that. If we're just out there screwing around and having fun, you can do whatever you want. And it doesn't bother me. And I'm never going to call a penalty on you, whatever. But as soon as we're playing for something,
absolutely,
like at that point, we gotta take it seriously.
I agree with that. And I do the best that I can, unless I don't know a rule. Even in scrambles, I don't, unless, I suppose if you're just going to be in like last place, then who cares? Which is in play for me sometimes. All right. So we got the Royals tonight. We don't have, I don't think we have, do we have hockey tonight, Max? I don't think we do. And I don't think we have NBA tonight either. Do we have any hockey tonight? Do we get at least a little something?
No, not yet.
Man, we got a night off from playoff action and a late night for Royals. So that middle ground, I guess, figure out something to do, but that's coming for you. We talked about Scotty Scheffler. Did you catch any? We didn't, and we'll spend just a couple minutes. Did you catch any of the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese?
I mean, I read about it. I don't.
It was good. It was Caitlin Clark giving a little back. The WNBA's got to milk it. They let that rivalry breathe. Let that rivalry carry the sport into new frontiers. We get it right away. And we get Caitlin Clark a little spicy in there. She kind of went in for a hard foul. It was pretty good. I liked it.
By the way, one other quick note, totally different topic that we haven't mentioned yet. Shocker Baseball does get to play in the conference tournament. They were at risk of missing the conference tournament.
And that starts tomorrow, by the way. It's right away.
They had a good ending to the conference regular season. And they'll head to Clearwater, Florida with, as the
how many times
tournament.
How many times have we said too, remember last year, they just kind of caught fire right there at the end. This was a team on paper that was picked second in the league. So we will certainly be watching. That starts tomorrow, and we'll have more on that tomorrow. Speaking of the Shockers, and tomorrow we have Paul Mills joining us. Let me check the time on that. I believe it's early. So 7:15. And I figured it would be early. but they are now allowed basically to talk about all these players. He's having a bigger media availability later in the day. So glad he's going to hop on here with us in the morning. And we'll just chat about some of these players. I'm real curious to see like the strategy behind it, right? Like the players are the players, but was it intentional to go and design things through what appears to be defense first? And like, I'm just so fascinated by the process now of like, how does this work? I'm fascinated to hear what it's like on the recruiting trail, recruiting for the Shockers right now, what it's like with the NIL resources right now. Like all of that stuff's going to be really interesting to hear from Coach Mills tomorrow. So that'll be at 7:15 tomorrow morning. So make sure you're in for that. Shocker fans, if you can't be there, if you miss it, of course, you can always find it on the Odyssey app as you can all our stuff. We'll have Felix Johnson in tomorrow as well. Talk a little NFL. It's been moderately quiet since the NFL schedule release. Not a lot of news. What's the next big calendar event?
Probably OTAs at this point.
Yeah, I guess. Brock Purdy signed a deal. You spend 1 minute on it. We might talk about this more tomorrow, but Brock Purdy got his deal. 5 years, $100 million guaranteed, 265. That puts him at about, 50 a year, but the 100. Look, he's seventh at the position by his contract right now. Dak, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Tua, all higher. Honestly, I would say that's a pretty job well done on both sides there. That feels about right, doesn't it? For what he's accomplished, like that feels about right.
And he's got a full no trade clause, so he gets to basically control his future.
I mean, would you rather have him at that contract or Dak at his, Trevor Lawrence for his, Jordan Love at his, Tua Tagovailoa for his?
I'd rather have Brock Purdy. I'd rather have Purdy at his.
I think both sides did a really nice job there. Really nice job. All right. We'll come back. We'll tell you what's on the network. We'll get you ready for the day next on Sports Daily.